This city is severely scarred by the consequences of toxic emissions from lead and zinc mines. Over 200,000 women and children show high levels of lead poisoning. Heavy metal pollution continues to this day and is the cause of the high number of children born with disabilities. The mine was closed in 1990, after being opened at the beginning of the 1900s as one of the first mines. Then they found other richer areas and closed the mine. The mines did not provide enough work. Zambia has not benefited enough from this wealth. Where does all this wealth go? The problem with these mines is that they were supposed to be remediated, but this was not done because at some point they decided that this city should be moved elsewhere. But they didn't have the courage to tear everything down, and the city grew around the mine. This compound includes about 60,000 people. This place is very poorly maintained because people have no work. When you have no work, what do? With the little they have, they buy beer and drink it. There is prostitution, etc. The area is called the Black Mountain. It is very polluted. The air, the soil, and the water are contaminated by heavy metals, such as lead, zinc. The wind carries everything around, spreading pollution throughout the entire area of Kabwe. They told us to plant grass in front of the houses to try and stop pollution from spreading, because there is a period when very strong winds kick up incredible dust clouds. But how can you plant grass? It dries up immediately because there isn't enough water to irrigate it. It's not doable. The streets are covered in clouds of dust. Even where there is a paved road, there are still areas where it isn't in good condition, so dust is part of life. Nothing has been done to improve things. Pregnant mothers are the most in danger. They should be encouraged to go to the hospital to receive medication and vitamins, and to monitor the baby's development. Where I was in the past in northern Zambia, there were 3 or 4 children I looked after, not like here where you find them everywhere. The special hospital where we take children from Kabwe is in Lusaka. It's the Bait Cure Children's Hospital of Zambia. It is an international hospital. The children don't pay, the mothers are treated well, they are happy to go, and none complain when they return. We provide the money for the trip, and they do the rest there. It takes 5 hours, even though the distance isn't that great. However, the road is not a highway.
This child, named Bright Nyendwa, has a mental delay. Dorcas is a little girl who was bitten by a snake and has a chance of not losing her hand because her mother absolutely did not want them to amputate her arm, which was already gangrenous. She had a metal pin implanted, and they are reconstructing her little arm. Elias has a tumor on his hand, which has grown excessively. They have already operated several times, but it keeps growing back. This is my favorite friend. Sharon has spasticity, but she understands everything. When she sees me, she acts as if she wants to talk, gets excited, and is very sweet. Elias had a cleft lip. He was operated on, but inside his mouth he continues to have problems. Justina was also operated on for a cleft lip and has healed well. Xavier has a mental problem and is also violent, and it's not easy to handle him. The mother suffers a lot because he is also difficult to care for. Alex has Mediterranean anemia and often needs transfusions if he is not treated in time. Our help in these cases is to provide food with nutrients to avoid reaching the point of needing blood transfusions. Francis is deaf and mute. He used to speak when he was little. Now he is mute, but he goes to the hospital often because they are trying to get him to talk again. Francis also has a cognitive problem. Thomas has hydrocephalus. Moses also has a mental delay. We found a place where these children can stay for a few hours, and the mother finally finds a minimum of freedom, as these are restless children who cry often and are difficult to control. This way, the mother can go do a few things. Not grocery shopping, because there is no money for that. She has to go and find some way to gather something to eat. Agnes Daka. This little girl also has sickle cell anemia. These children do not develop well. They reach the age of 15, but beyond that, it is not easy, especially for girls who would like to have children. Many die before that age. Angel is missing a foot. The shoe makes it look like he has one, but in reality, he only has the heel. She had a prosthesis fitted, and she now walks. Innocent also has sickle cell anemia. Francis has spina bifida, and for him, the only solution is a wheelchair. He is incontinent and has no sensation from the waist down, but he is very intelligent and should be taken to school. Blessing has a cognitive delay, and her very young mother, who is still in secondary school, is desperate. She leaves the child with the grandmother to go to school, but the child cannot even support the weight of her own head. These children are also taken for physiotherapy, but they have to travel there too. We provide what is needed to take the minibus to the hospital because the physiotherapy is free. The cost is small, but it is difficult to have even that little. Promise walks with difficulty. She has leg problems and has already been operated on twice, even recently. Alimani has a mental delay and is difficult to manage. The mother is very good and has done everything possible to help him. For example, they built a swing. Some families with more resources work hard to improve things. Blessing also has a mental delay. This child laughs a lot, but he also has a cognitive problem. The mother is very good, but it is difficult even to carry him. Even though he has a wheelchair, it is difficult to use due to the condition of the roads for long trips. Elon suffers from sickle cell anemia. Michael has only one leg. It was amputated below the knee when he was little, and he was fitted with an artificial leg in a private clinic. It costs a lot, but a benefactor was found who provided the 1,000 euros that I believe had to be paid. He walks and is very happy. People thought it was a miracle. The miracle of technology is beautiful, but he grows while the leg does not. We must continue to do something. She is completely blind. She has already grown and attends a school for the blind. I gave her a guitar I had at home, and now she invents songs, sings, and even has someone who records her. She doesn't have a professional name yet, but she is doing something that gives her joy. Patrina is rachitic. Unfortunately, she cannot improve. This child was thrown away, literally discarded and abandoned by his biological mother. He was picked up by this elderly lady who cares for him, but he also has cognitive problems. He doesn't lift his head, doesn't move his arms or legs, and it is very difficult. Even though they live far away, that lady still came to the office saying, "I don't know how long I've walked." Now we try to help her in every way because she has less than nothing. Davis seems fine, but he has anemia. Children like him always need to be taken to the hospital. Samuel also has the same illness, and so does Doreen. She, however, also has a problem with her legs because she didn't walk when she was little. Now she walks and has been placed under treatment at the hospital. Joseph is new, We haven't had the chance to do anything for him yet. The mother came from far away with this child who has a cleft lip. Another plague of Zambia is albinism. These people suffer a lot because they do not feel at home. They feel out of place. She, on the other hand, has a mental delay but understands. She goes to school in a special slow learn class. This girl, a friend of hers, this girl is one of the first we helped. She is now in the 3rd year of middle school. She has a problem with a leg. With her, we learned that if we follow these children, we must follow them all the way, not just give sporadic help. In fact, she had a bent leg that was surgically straightened, but she never returned to the hospital and the leg became bent again. To straighten it again, a metal rod had to be inserted, and she went to the hospital many times. She walks fairly well, but the leg has a prosthesis. Emmanuel is autistic and needs supervision. He knows where the cookies are in the office, and as soon as he enters, he looks for them. And you have to give them to him quickly. It's a pity, because the mother suffers a lot. Ruth and her sister, whom we see now, both have sickle cell anemia. Here is the little sister. Who knows where the parents are? Janet is one of the first we took into care. She is an intelligent girl who is in her 1st year of middle school. I met a person who helps me pay for her travel every day because it's 5 kilometers to go to school and she has to take the minibus. Janet walks poorly, but she is very intelligent. Matthews has hydrocephalus. Cosmas cannot support his head and arms. He too has a mental problem. Zalifa was blind and was like that for at least 5 years. She could see at first, then unfortunately couldn't anymore. Since being here, she has been to several hospitals and has begun to see. When she entered the office without holding her mother's hand on her own, it was truly a marvel, a grace for which we thank the Lord.